Hey everyone, welcome to the Mark and Macy show. This is kind of a special edition because we've got a very special guest here. We've got Sinorice Moss, former NFL wide receiver. Sinorice, what's going on? It's great to have you on.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. How y'all both doing?
We're doing great. Are you new to Blab? This is kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, yes I am. This is my very first time on Blab. So this is pretty awesome.
Well, definitely. Thanks for joining us. Of course, the Super Bowl's coming up. We want your insight when it comes to the Super Bowl. But before we get to that, we really want to know what you're up to right now, Sinorice, the Super Bowl 50 collection. Want to know all about that. So what's going on with you right now?
For myself, I'm living out here in Los Angeles now, pursuing acting full time, both commercial acting and TV shows, theatrical acting, and doing also some modeling and printing as well.
Very cool. We saw you're involved with the Nike Gold Collection, which represents the Super Bowl. How did you get involved with that?
It was actually a casting. I went to the casting. I was called by some casting agents to come to the casting. They didn't tell us that it was actually for the Super Bowl 50 collection, so I had no idea. I just knew that it was part of Nike. It was something for a Nike commercial, a Nike print ad, and I was like, hey, I want to do it. I've always had a dream of actually working with Nike on a large scale as such. Because when I played in the NFL, I was with Reebok. I had a contract with Reebok, so I couldn't wear any Nikes when I played in the NFL. So, being able to work with Nike was awesome. And when I got the call that I actually was casted to be their guy for the particular collection, I was excited. Like I actually shared a tear actually. So.
No, that's very cool. So, is there anything that you're doing with acting right now that you can relate to football? In terms of training, discipline, preparation, is there any kind of connection there? Is it just completely a different world?
No, I think being able to play football now as a professional athlete has helped me tremendously in my transition from the game to being now an actor. I have to put in the same amount of work as I did when I played to prepare myself for a game or to prepare myself for practice, to prepare myself for the castings or just prepare myself when it's time to begin production and start filming. So, take classes or, you just have the proper training that you need to go through to prepare yourself. So when it's time to get that call, you're there and you're prepared.
Very cool. So we saw, you're involved with all the acting, the Nike, everything else. We also saw that you are part of the Dare to Dream Foundation. And that seems really cool because it's something that helps kids in schools and gives them a better education. Could you tell us more about that foundation and how you got involved?
Yes, I actually started that foundation probably 7 years ago when I was still in New York. Me and my brother, both Santana, we had a foundation down in Miami called the Moss Brothers Foundation. And before I came into the NFL, he had his own foundation, the Santana Moss Foundation. And it was just important for me to start something that would be able to help, not only the students, but also give back to the teachers as well, because they do so much for us, growing up. They give back so much of us, so much of their time. So it's just an opportunity for me to say thank you, to the teachers, but also be there for the kids and allow them to see that if you put in the time and you do the things that's necessary in school, you have the opportunity and ability to do everything else you want to accomplish in life.
Okay, Sinorice, let's talk some nuts and bolts football. So we're only a few days away. You've experienced this 2-week build up to the Super Bowl. From an offensive standpoint, offensive coordinators love to tinker. They love to try different things. They've got 2 weeks to deal with that. Based on your experience, how much would you expect either offensive coordinator to put in some new looks to give that defense something different to look at that they haven't seen on tape?
I think it's very important that both offensive coordinators do put in some new looks. They've been playing all year. So, in this league, you see so many things multiple times from different teams. They may use different terminologies, but you see the same concepts, the same formations and everything. So I think this week, some of the offensive coordinators on both sides will bring out something that they've actually been probably holding on all year that they want to use and be able to implement it in this big game.
So, Sinorice, as a former player and a Super Bowl player, when you get off that plane the week of the Super Bowl, what kind of emotions and thoughts are running through your head?
Oh, wow. I can remember back in 2008 when we arrived in Phoenix, Arizona. And for myself personally, I played the national championship game in Arizona when I played for the University of Miami. when we beat Ohio State, when we beat Ohio State, but they said Ohio State beat us. That was back in 2003. But just arriving and just knowing how important that week was to be, just to be mentally focused, with everything going around with the, with the parades and the media day. Is so much that's being involved. You have your family coming out. You have so many people asking for tickets. It's a lot that's involved in that whole entire week. But just being able to focus on the job at hand, and the job at hand is to go out there and win a football game. And I know back in 2008, we allowed ourselves as a team to come together and put things together and go out there and win that championship.
Hey, Sinorice, you bring up a great point, because the contrast there is, as a favorite with Miami, and I need to check the record book on the final score. I got confused there. But as a huge favorite, at least the record book shows that you might have lost the game. Anyway, you spin that forward in the NFL, big underdog. Nobody thinks the Patriots can be beat. You pull it off. What was the feel and the vibe going into each game as huge underdog, unbeatable, 34 consecutive wins versus we're the team that's just happy to be here?
I think for us at that point in time in the season in 2008, we felt like we were going to win the game when we got to Arizona at the New York Giants. We had played them later on in that season, and we kept all our starters in, and we actually played a really, really good game against the New England Patriots. And I think for us that was a lot. That was a lot for the team. They knew that we can come out there and we can fight and play against these guys. And then when we got to Arizona, it was just like, hey, there's one game left. Let's put everything together and come out here and win this football game. And we were definitely able to do that. And that was one of the highlights. Something I'll remember for the rest of my life. I was a part of it. I was in it. And just to be my second year, it was actually my second year in the NFL. And to have that experience, it was like, it was amazing. It was amazing. Every time, people ask me about can you explain to me how the feeling was? It was an out of body experience for me. It was something that you probably had to be a part of, had to be involved in to really feel the feelings that I had.
So all of that emotion and that outer body experience of just being in the Super Bowl itself as an NFL player, I think you guys experienced something that no one will probably ever experience again. But David Tyree's catch, that will be unlike any other. What was the team reaction? Obviously that's something no one's ever going to forget. You see David Tyree make that catch off the top of his helmet. What was your first thought?
The first thing I said is, we won the game. That was the first thing I said. When he made that catch, I said, we can win this game. That was something that that catch itself, no matter how many times you replay it, no matter how many times you view that catch, it was an incredible catch. And there's not many catches you will ever see like that in the game of football, except, Odell Beckham with his one-hand grab, and then Mario Menahem a few years later catching a nice toe touch grab in the Super Bowl as well. But that catch right there, after he made that completion, and everybody was just jumping off the benches and on the sideline, everybody was so excited. We knew then right there that we can win this game. And then we drove down, threw a few passes to Steve Smith in the flat, and we hit Plexico Barris with the fade in the corner of the end zone, and it was Giants' victory.
Sinorice, if you haven't thought about who's going to win this game, if you haven't figured that out yet, get the wheels spinning, because we're going to ask you in just a second
who
your pick is. But before that, I got one other question for you. So as a wide receiver, I think it's pretty obvious that Peyton Manning has lost his fastball. That's not a necessary cut on him. It's just the way it is. Going into a situation like that, two-part question here. How do you deal with that as a wide receiver to kind of help him out, especially on those difficult throws to the outside? And then also in regards to playing with a quarterback like Cam Newton, who's going to extend a play, versus a Peyton Manning who's going to be on the platform in the pocket most of the time. Just the differences for a wide receiver in dealing with those two kind of quarterbacks.
I think for both, I could probably answer both questions in one. It's about being on the same page, knowing the differences between both a Peyton Manning and Cam Newton, and knowing what they bring to the game. With Peyton Manning, knowing that he's going to throw that fastball and get that ball out of there in 0.5 seconds, you have to be on the same page with this guy and know that no matter if I'm going to get the ball or not, if the play's called for someone else, it's a large percentage that I may get the ball as well. I feel like everybody is included when it comes down to when Peyton Manning gets under that in the shotgun or gets under the center and he snaps that ball. And then for Cam Newton, those guys know that this guy can run the ball. He can extend the play. So they have to be on the same page and know that, if he rolls out to the right, I may have to come back down a few yards. Or if he rolls out to the left, he may want me to go deep. And that's just about being on the same page as your quarterback and understanding their characteristics and who they are as professionals and going out there and executing the plays.
So one real quick thing going back to the Giants, one of your good friends, Justin Tuck, has just announced his retirement from the NFL. And you had a very heartfelt tweet that you put out. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, Justin's a very great friend of mine and former teammate. And when you think about a professional, you think about Justin Tuck. How he approached the game, how he came to practice, how he came to work off the field, how he was so involved in the community. His wife was there as well, involved in the community and having his Rush Foundation. And he's just an incredible person, man. As you can see, man, all the heartfelt tweets to everybody. You hate to see him leave the game, but you understand, it's the time in his life where he feels like, it's time for him to walk away. It's time for him to walk away. And as fans and as friends, you have to accept that and you have to respect that decision that he's made. But Justin Tuck he's probably one of my favorite teammates. Justin Tuck and Dominique Hickson, probably both my favorite teammates that I've had the opportunity to play with and actually be friends with outside and off the field.
Okay, Macy, anything else, or are we ready for a prediction here?
I think we're ready for a prediction. I think that's what everybody's wanting. But are you going to be at Super Bowl 50?
I'm not going to be at Super Bowl 50. Unfortunately, I think I may have to be on set that weekend. Hopefully they give us that national holiday off because the Super Bowl is a national holiday. I don't know if everybody knows that, but hopefully I get the day off and I'm able to sit back with a few of my friends and watch the game.
So are you leaning one way? Do you have a pick for us?
I don't know. If you guys noticed, I just posted a picture yesterday and also today from the Nike Super Bowl 50 collection, and Nike has me wearing the Denver Broncos. But I believe that it will be a pretty close game, but I think Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers will pull it off. I'll give or take. I'll say right now prediction 24-20 the Panthers.
Sounds good. I think we all want a good game, and that sounds like a good
game. Yeah, that's what's most important for me. I don't want to see a blowout. I think it will be best that it is a good game for everyone. I mean, because I remember a few years ago when Seahawks played against the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, everybody wanted a great game. Everybody wanted, the top defense against, the top offense to go and battle it out and have a great game. But we all know that it was one-sided. And a lot of people was disappointed about that it was one-sided. But I feel that both teams this year in Super Bowl 50, that it'll be really special and Cam Newton will come out victorious.
Great stuff. Sinorice Moss, former NFL wide receiver and of the U, and that's difficult for me to do, joining us here on Mark and Macy. Sinorice, thanks for jumping on here. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys both. Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you very much, Macy. And I like what you guys are doing. So congratulations and keep it up.
Of course. Thank you. And guys, please follow Sinorice. He's a great guy. There's NFL people out there who are just, these up top people, but he is a real guy. He's a friend. He wants to be cool with everyone. So go check out his foundation. Check out the Super Bowl 50 line. I know I'm probably going to go buy something. I'll probably end up buying the sneakers. I love them once I saw them. Maybe just because he's a good model. He's selling it. I don't know. But Stars, if we get our own clothing line, you will definitely be our model.
Hey, I'll be there. I have on a Mark and Macy shirt with a nice pose for you guys.
I can see it now. Love that idea. All right. Super Bowl talk coming up Thursday night. Mark and Macy will be here right here on Blab at 6:30. Thanks again, Sinorice.
Thank you guys for having me.